We keep it rolling here on the NFL show. I got Ron the Don Romanelli. Mr. Rundown is what I like to call him. How you doing this week, sir?
I'm doing great, Jay. I can't wait for this NFL card. I think this is the best betting card that we've had so far in the NFL.
Yeah, man, we got some data. We got some
hmm
film. Um, we're not just throwing darts, kind of like you are early season. We kind of know who these teams are a little bit. Will that help us or will that hurt us? Is the multi-million-dollar question, man. But let's break it down. Let's break it down. Where we headed to first?
We're headed to MetLife Stadium. You say throwing darts, not sure what these teams are, but the Chiefs are who we thought they were. As the wise man once said, 0-2 to start the season. Win total under 11.5 wins, looking nice and juicy. And I think we make it 0-3 in this game. As there's no reason the Chiefs should be laying this many points when they've been miserable offensively to start the year, playing in a tough environment in a primetime game against the Giants team that, yes, lost last week, but can carry that momentum of a close game, overtime game, with their offense looked unbelievable into a matchup like this. Now, the Chiefs' defense has been excellent. They held Philadelphia to 20 points and well under 250 total yards, but I still have issues with that KC offense, and I think that the Giants' best offense will be their defense. I think they'll be able to get some short field opportunities, and I think they'll be able to make enough plays to keep this game at least within the number. Just there's too many points in a primetime matchup like this for a team that just can't consistently move the ball. I got to take the points here with the New York Football Giants. Sprinkle on the money line. When I went over the schedule for my win-loss projection for KC, this was a game that I had as a toss-up, not just an easy Chiefs win. I'd be careful in survivor pools taking KC. I think it's going to be a close game. We got him.
I can't say too much because you're right thus far.
Of course I am.
He came on to start the season and said Chiefs under. And here they are sitting 0-2.
And Chiefs missed the playoffs.
And Chiefs to miss the playoffs. He did. Y'all know me and Ron, we talk all the time. And over the summer, he told me, he's like, they might lose to the Giants in MetLife too. And I was like, bro, hell no. Man, I don't see them starting 0-3. I didn't see them starting 0-2. I thought they were going to beat the Chargers, probably lose to the Eagles, be 2-1 at this point. Maybe even 2-0 because it's Mahomes, like Andy Reid and company. But here we are, 0-2. Based on what we've seen these first 2 weeks, 6.5 is a lot of points to lay. I'll agree. Yeah. It is a lot of points to lay. You start to look at some of the numbers for the Chiefs offense and the cliff they've fallen off of over the past couple seasons. They're only averaging like 21 points a game. This is not the over-the-top, score-quick offense that it used to be. This is a methodical, a lot of time off the clock, style offense right now, which is not great and inducive for laying basically a touchdown on the road. We saw the Giants offense. I know it was against my team last week, but they did look good. Russell Wilson turned back the clock. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just my defense just so bad or if their receivers were really just that wide open up the seam all game.
More the former, but yeah, I think, look at the Chiefs who they have on deck. They better win this game. They got Baltimore on deck. I think they're going to definitely lose that one in their current form. So
here's the thing. Do I see the Giants replicating what they did offensively last week? The answer to that question personally is no.
No.
This is still a solid Chiefs defense. I trust Spags.
I think a top 5 defense still.
Yes, I agree. Last week, they held Hurts to 100 passing yards. Overall, the Eagles sub 100 rushing yards, I believe. I thought Kelsey kind of cost him that game, dropping that pick in the end zone.
It definitely hurt him. But, Mahomes didn't play that well the rest of the game.
Fair.
And it's time to face the music and admit that he's not a top 10 quarterback in this league anymore.
See, there you say shit like that, right? I can't get there. No way in hell. This is what I'll say. No way in hell do the Chiefs lose this game. They're not starting 0-3. Is the ATS in question for the Giants at home, 7-point dogs? I do think so. But will I be putting my money on the Giants this week? No. Do I see the path? I do. Do I think you're as delusional this week as I thought you were the past couple of weeks? No, I don't. So that's as much love as you'll get from me this week.
Thank you. Now, are you going to sign up for Chiefs to miss the playoffs now? You still can get plus money, folks.
No, I'm not signing up on that. I'm not.
So you think they're going to beat the Giants and then they're going to beat the Ravens too next week?
Where's that game at next week?
It's in KC.
I'm on the Chiefs.
All right.
We'll be 2-2.
At best, you're looking at a 1-3 start to the season.
2-2, through the storm, ready to get back on track. This is a team that already has matched their loss total from last season or surpassed it.
Right?
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. It's gonna be a fun season-long discussion, man. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be over by week 6.
It could be. He was early to the party. We'll see if he continues to be right. Man, that's a good game. That's a good game to break down. Fun little discussion we just had right there. What you got going on this weekend? I know where to find your favorite plays. They're over at Pick Dawgz Premium. I think it's an overall solid football weekend, college and NFL. So what you looking at this weekend?
Yeah, I think there's some really good games, both cards. I think I've already got some college football plays locked in for Saturday, coming off a nice winning week there in college football. NFL, I think, like I said, is the best betting card this season, week 3 card. So I'll be looking to take advantage of some overreactions by the markets due to the first 2 weeks. I think that there's teams that had a great start to the season that are a little bit overvalued right now, and teams that have had a slow start to the year that we can take advantage of getting really good points with them. So take a look. Long-term plans, the best bet. Get all my plays across all sports. Can't forget Major League Baseball regular season still going on, WNBA playoffs. So all that at Pick Dawgz Premium, having a great year overall.
Man, hop on Ron the Don. His numbers speak for themselves. Last 12 months, just look at the work my man has put in. One of the sharpest in the business. Appreciate you coming on the show. Chiefs Kingdom. Go Chiefs, go.
It's over.
We'll see. Appreciate you, Ron. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Shane.
And we keep it rolling here on the NFL show. I got my guy, Brian Biller, with me here. What's happening, Brian? How you doing?
Definitely looking forward to another week of NFL action. The first week was really good for me. Public got torched, but the second week, last week, not so good, 2-3 record, but definitely room for improvement there. And I think there's lots of games on the board to get me well into the positive.
Yes, sir. I'm in the same boat. Week 1 was a really good week for me. Week 2, the books got me. So I'm looking to bounce back this week too in week 3 NFL action. And I think we got a really good card to do exactly that, man. I think this is probably, from a betting perspective, it's probably the best week thus far. So I'm ready to break it down. Where are we headed to first?
Yeah, for one of my best free picks on the board here on Sunday, I'm looking at those the Los Angeles Rams and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think we're going to see a ton of action here on the undefeated reigning Super Bowl champion here, Eagles. But this Rams team has been solid on the road. If you look up their road cover, they've covered 7 straight on the road. Eagles are great at Lincoln Financial Field, 11 straight up. But this Rams team, I just think with that hook, Eagles are coming off of 2 really important emotional wins here, going to Kansas City and getting the job done and beating their arch rival Dallas Cowboys. Now they got to get up for the Rams. Not that the Rams are a crappy team, but there's only so many big games you can get up for. And I think this will be typical Philadelphia Eagle fashion, winning this game by a field goal or maybe dropping it by a field goal. But for me, I'm going to take the Rams plus the points, and I'll make sure I wait close to kickoff to get the best number. But 3.5 should be good to get the job done.
Brian B. taking the Rams in this one. Eagles, they are 2-0. It hasn't been a pretty 2-0, though. I mean, yes, you start off your season to start off the year, home win, division win, raise the banner. That's a good win. And then you go on the road to the Kansas City Chiefs and beat them in Arrowhead. That's a good win. But when you look back and look at the advanced numbers and how they got those wins,
they could have been 0-2 if Dallas doesn't fumble that ball, running the ball in there. Who knows what happens? Kansas City turns it over late on a drive that they were going to take the lead. So the Eagles are not lucky, but they're fortunate to be undefeated here. So
I think so too. You look at some of their offensive numbers, back-to-back weeks, not really running the football the way you might think they should. Jalen Hurts still yet to throw a touchdown pass. Funny stat for all y'all out there. Jalen Hurts in passing touchdowns is 34th in the league. There's 32 starting quarterbacks. He's 34. Dylan Gabriel has more passing touchdowns than Jalen Hurts.
You just got to keep the Eagles out of that 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 because they're just unstoppable with that quarterback sneak. I also like Puka Nacua to score the first touchdown plus 800 in this one, and Jalen Hurts for an anytime touchdown at plus 100 because, let's face it, if they get to the goal line, he's carrying the ball in. So.
Yes, he is. And we've seen him be mobile. He had 2 outright rushing touchdowns against my team in week 1 that kind of propelled them to the win. I am an Eagles hater. I won't ever run from that. But and I still think collectively they're one of the most talented teams in football. But their style of play, I don't think warrants laying this many points on a good Rams team. The Rams are 2-0 as well. This is a battle of 2 2-0 teams this week. I really like what I saw from Los Angeles in that second half against Tennessee last week. First half they were on the ropes. Second half they came in, settled in, and beat the brakes off a team they're head and shoulders better than. And I'm kind of with you, Brian. If come Sunday the hook is still on this 3 and on this 3, if I can get up and over a field goal, I'm gonna like the Rams. So,
yep,
that's what I'm gonna do here in this one. Week 3, NFL action, Brian. Season rolling right along. It's been fun thus far. Trying to keep it rolling, man. We got a solid week of action coming up. I know where to find your favorite plays over at Pick Dawgz Premium. What you got going on over at Pick Dawgz Premium this weekend?
Well, as I record this, ranked number 2 at pickdawgz.com as far as profit goes. Last 365, NFL 18-13. That includes the preseason. So, like I said, first week was really good for me. Second week, not so good. But with this card, the best thing to do is grab my titanium best bet for $30 at pickdawgz.com, or get that long-term pass and get everything I put out for at least a 30-day pass, because I do NFL, college football, WNBA, CFL, Major League Baseball. So definitely get a lot of bang for your buck for that $350.
Yes, you will. Brian, appreciate you coming on the show. See you throughout the week and right here on the NFL and college football show all year.
Thanks for having me, Jay. Appreciate it.
Sure. And we keep it rolling here on the NFL show. I got my man, Jeremy Kahn, with me here. What's happening, Jeremy? How you doing?
What's up, man? Good to see you again, and happy to be here talking some NFL football. It's been, as I've said, kind to me so far, so let's keep this thing rolling.
Let's do it. I love NFL, man. NFL Sunday is my favorite day of the week. It's nothing like all day of being in the grind. So let's do it. Where we headed to here first in week 3?
I think you and I are headed to a big fight. Let's go talk Dallas and Chicago. And I don't think we've had an argument yet, Jay. I always look at spots, and I want to hear your rebuttal because I know this is your team. I'm not sure what the Cowboys are yet, but you said something on the morning show that I think is going to be true. For the Cowboys to be successful, they're going to have to win a lot of high-scoring games. I think there's some holes in the secondary, and if you can hold up front and keep your quarterback clean, and he's good enough, and you have the talent on the outside, I think you can pick them apart. But on the flip side, you got to slow down that offense, which is pretty damn potent. So looking at the Bears, this is you got a new coach coming in that's devised. And if you've watched Caleb Williams, he's shown signs, but he hasn't put it all together yet. We've seen drives where it's like, oh, look at this. And then they get down in the red zone, and then boom, before you know it, they're either getting sacked and out of it, missing a field goal, whatever. Last week did not look good for the Bears against the Lions as they got absolutely torched. Now they get to come back home. Dallas coming off that emotional win. For me, it's more about the spot than the actual teams. And I think Ben Johnson's going to find something with that defense and attack it throughout. And I think Caleb Williams and Rome, I think they have a big day. I like the Bears here.
Jeremy, man. I think you're foolish and lack vision.
Lack of vision. That's why I got these glasses, man. So let me ask you, with your Cowboys, you feel good about this spot? Because I know Monday when I did the show with you, you said they're a DNB, the Bears, right? Do not bet.
Yes, they're on the DNB. So in the NBA and basketball, I have a list. It's an actual list called the do not bet list. We put teams on that list. The list is fluid. Teams come on and off the list throughout the season.
I like it.
But it's helped us make a good amount of money over the past couple of seasons. I don't really have one in the NFL. It's kind of hard to put teams on that list in the NFL just because of A, it's not as many games, B, it's week to week. And it's not for long. Teams bounce back all the time in the NFL, things of that nature.
Yeah, when we start doing college basketball, you'll hear me go, man, that damn team's my kryptonite. It doesn't matter if they're an underdog, if they're favored, whatever. I like the total. I can't win their games. And I never put together a DNB, but in the back of my mind, I kind of have it, So
the first team officially on the NFL DNB is the Chicago Bears. This team here, bro.
I call these vomit plays, man. And again, so the one point about the Cowboys in week 1, everybody's like, hey, they played the Eagles really tight. I know the Eagles are 2-0, but their offense has not looked good outside of Saquon in game 1. Not at all, and this past week, throwing for 101 yards and not having a 100-yard rusher and finding a way to win, hats off to you. But I'm not sure how good the Eagles offense is. Watching the Giants come to town and do what they did this past week. I mean, Russell Wilson was on one. I don't know how often that's going to happen at this point of his career, but Dallas found a way to win. Hats off to them. Aubrey with the big kick. But I look at this game and say, okay, can we look at Chicago and see some mismatches on offense? Can they do enough on defense to get stops? And I think they can. I think they win this game and then kind of get off of that schneid of having a W, and maybe Ben Johnson has a good press conference.
I don't think so. I don't think they do enough offensively. I've seen Caleb Williams through 2 weeks. I saw him come out first game, Monday Night Football, put together only 2 good drives. First drive of the game, which was scripted all off season, Ben Johnson put his life into that first drive. And then it was the 2-minute drill last against the Minnesota Vikings, which is also scripted. Mm-hmm. You practice 2-minute drill damn near every day at practice. So, those 2 situations are scripted. Outside of that, Chicago looked god-awful offensively against Minnesota that night. We go to last week. The Bears were my top play of the weekend last week. That's why I'm so mad at them, because I thought if any spot was a spot, last week was the spot for the Bears. I thought it was a play for your coach style game. Get your coach his first win as a head coach against his former team.
That's coming when they play them at home. Maybe. That's probably the spot, but yeah.
Maybe. I thought schematically they would have something dialed up for him. I wasn't in love with what I saw from Detroit the week before. Thought they might have been a little overrated, overvalued. We had seen the Packers now back-to-back games. I just thought the public would be in love with the Lions that week, and it was a sneaky spot to grab the points with the Bears. I really thought they would be competitive. And guess what? They weren't competitive. They got blitzed off the football field. The Lions put up 50. J.J. McCarthy looked god-awful last week. The week before, in the second half, he won Offensive Player of the Week. J.J. McCarthy in his first start of the season. I don't know if y'all know or not, but looking at a lot of advanced numbers, the quarterback who's playing the best football is my quarterback, Dak Prescott. So, I think he obliterates this Chicago defense. And on the other side, talking about my Cowboys defense, yes, I do agree with you. We got tore apart last week by Russell Wilson. We have played almost no man coverage in week 1 or week 2. We played a lot of zone. The Giants tore us up the seams on the zone. The thing is that it's been a while since we've seen Russ do that, but we have seen Russ do that. You know who I haven't seen do that at all? Caleb Williams. This guy has been overrated since overrated is overrated. I didn't like him at USC. I didn't see anything from him at USC. Remember how overrated and overvalued that team was that year? They were talking playoffs, talking this and that. I don't even think they finished with a winning record. Then he goes and gets drafted to Chicago. All this hype. They weren't anything last year. Okay, cool. We're blaming it on the coaching staff. But through 2 weeks with one of the best offensive minds in football, I have not been impressed. So here's my thought process. Do I think there will be some signs, an uptick for Chicago this week? Definitely. But do I think it's enough to win this football game? No, I still think my team is criminally underrated. I think we come in here and put up likely a 40 burger, and I don't think Chicago gets that. So
Jay, here's what I'm going to be on the morning show on Monday, and I'm definitely going to go get my throwback Walter Payton jersey after the Bears beat your Cowboys and just wear it the entire time.
Fair. You knew what you were signing yourself up for when you chose this game.
Well, it's you always ask what games, and I'm always like, what other games did everybody take? I'll take anything and talk about it because I handicap almost every game. But in this essence, I'm like, yeah, I like the Bears, but do I want to bring that up with Jay because we haven't had a fight yet, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Fair enough, man. A lot of people I respect, though, are on the Bears this week for a lot of the reasons you are. And I get it. I do get it. You know, our defense is a little suspect. But I don't think enough people are looking at our offense and putting enough credit on how good they are. So we'll see.
Put some respect on that name.
Man.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott for MVP. Put your bets in now. All right, I'll get off my little delusional horse for a bit. That's what they like to call me, delusional, when it comes to my Cowboys.
I love it.
Man, fun game to break down. Can't wait for this one. Where we headed to next here on the NFL show?
Yeah, I want to go and talk about the team that Chicago just played and got torched by. They're coming to Baltimore on Monday night. And I really wanted to talk about this game. I know it's a Monday night football game. This is going to be another top play for me this week.
From my favorite team to your favorite team.
Yeah, and again, like with the Ravens, there's a couple things to look at. First off, they're great in primetime games. They're going to have a blackout on Monday night. On top of it, you saw what they were capable of doing. I know it's the Cleveland Browns, but people were so down on them because they lost 41-40 week 1 to the Bills. And the Ravens might end up with the best record at the end of the season. If you go look at their schedule, man, they play some sorry-ass teams this year. Now with the Bengals not having Joe Burrow, I think it could be a long year for the AFC North outside of Baltimore. But I think they're tailor-made to play a team like Jared Goff and the Lions when they're outside of the dome. It's going to be slowed down. This Ravens team always stops the run or at least slows it down. So if they can limit Jahmyr Gibbs and of course, that running game, I feel like you're going to make Jared Goff one-dimensional, and that's exactly what I want. Don't be fooled by the secondary getting lit up in week 1. They made some wholesale changes. Jair Alexander wasn't right and tried to play, and he gave up a ton of big plays. The pass rush wasn't getting there. Oh, by the way, Josh Allen's pretty damn good at creating some extra time, and he was just special in the fourth quarter. But I think they're tailor-made for this. And as I was pointing out on a couple other shows, the Ravens against the NFC, Lamar's only lost twice. Once to the sorry-ass Giants team, which I still don't know how they lost that game. And the other one was to the Super Bowl team last year, the Eagles. So, but he dominates. And the Ravens have done this a couple times against the Lions. Getting them in Baltimore outside where you're going to slow them down. It's not going to be cold or anything, but you still get some elements. I think the Ravens win by double digits here. Give me Baltimore.
I have no disagreements in this one. We argued in the last one. We'll be friends here.
At least I have vision at some point. So
you have some vision. Nah, but I agree with a lot of what you said here. You hit a major point for me. That's been one of my points over the past couple seasons. Is just how dominant the Ravens are against NFC opponents. Like, it's hard to game plan for Lamar Jackson. It's hard to game plan for that speed. Then you look at a couple things. You got Jared Goff outside the dome. You got the Lions playing a meaningful game now. I still don't know what to expect from them minus Ben Johnson offensively. I know they obliterated the Bears last week, but I just told y'all my thoughts on the Bears. They're not a good football team. So
the other thing with this too is like how many times do you see Derrick Henry have back-to-back bad games? Yeah. And after what happened this week, that dude's licking his chops waiting to get after the Lions. So
primetime game in Baltimore, night game, blackout. Not fading that. So I'm with you.
It's going to be fun, man.
Yeah, I'm with you here. Let's get it done, Ravens. I'll lay the points. Man, fun. Glad having you here with me today, Jeremy. Breaking down some NFL action. I know where to find your favorite plays this weekend over at Pick Dawgz Premium. What you got over at Pick Dawgz Premium this weekend?
Yeah, I always put a 5-pack together for the NFL. I don't force it. If there wasn't a fifth game I liked, I just wouldn't force it. but I have a 5-pack there. I've been up at the top of the leaderboard in the NFL and doing well so far. The 0-2 on Monday night really kind of hit me hard, but the fact of the matter is the percentage is still good, and I really like this card this weekend. I think there's some really good spots with bad teams, so it's kind of hold your nose and hope it works out sometimes when you're looking at the bad teams, because you could see anything happen. I mean, the Jets decided to jet last week, and we got the Tennessee Titans blowing it in the second half, so anything's possible. But I do think there's some teams in really good spots this week that I'm going to attack, and they'll be in my top 5. You can check that out over at pickdawgz.com.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Jeremy. See you throughout the week on the Lowdown. We'll see you here on the NFL and the College Football Show. Appreciate having you, my man.
Thanks, man.
And we keep it rolling here on the NFL Show. I got Big Al McMorty here with me. Al, good to see you this week. How you doing, my man?
Doing well. The last week in pro football, it was not fun for me. College has been off to a great start, but the NFL, did not treat me very well in week number 2. So looking to bounce back in week number 3.
I'm in the same boat with you. I had a really great week 1. Week 2 was a little rough. It was really rough, I'll be honest. It was really rough. So I'm looking for a major bounce back in week 3. And the way the card lines up, I think a guy like me and you is going to do exactly that, bounce back. So let's try to do exactly that, my man. What are we looking at first here this week?
We're going to look at another team that wants to bounce back. The Kansas City Chiefs. It's strange. You had the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, made the championship game in college football last season. They start the season 0-2. Same thing with the Kansas City Chiefs. They make the Super Bowl. They start 0-2. But with both teams, it's really a function of the schedule. Notre Dame had Miami of Florida and Texas A&M to open the year. Kansas City had the LA Chargers on a neutral field in Brazil, and then the Philadelphia Eagles to open the year. So it's understandable. I'm not going to overreact and bury Patrick Mahomes just because they're 0-2. This is going to be a huge step down in class for Kansas City after facing the Chargers and the Eagles. They're now facing the New York Giants, also 0-2. And I like Kansas City. They're favored right now by 6.5 on the road, and losing teams off back-to-back losses. They've cashed 61% when favored by more than 3 points on the road. So I'm going to lay it with Patrick Mahomes and company.
Al, on the KC Chiefs here in this one, I had our good friend Ron on earlier. He's on the other side, and
he's a New Yorker.
He's also a major Chiefs hater.
I had a conversation with him maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I mentioned I thought Patrick Mahomes was the best quarterback I've ever seen, and he was not happy with my opinion. He was, I guess he's more of a Peyton Manning and Tom Brady fan, which is fair. I mean, there's nothing wrong with those guys either, but I like Mahomes.
I do too. The Chiefs, I think they'll be fine in the grand scheme of things. Win here. Next week they got a tough matchup with the Baltimore Ravens coming in. But they win that, then they're really right back on track. 2-2, coming off a good win against an AFC team, a top AFC team. And they'll be off to the races. This is a team we saw last year only lose 1 game. So, I'm not too worried about the Chiefs. That's why I was telling him in the grand scheme of things, I'm not too worried. So we'll see. Sunday Night Football on the road in the Meadowlands. Russell Wilson and them did look good last week. They dotted up my team. Ultimately came out of there with an L. It's probably... I don't think they're going to look that good offensively against the Chiefs defense. So we'll see how this one plays out. All right, that's the Kansas City Chiefs. Where we headed to next, my man?
I'm going to look at the NFC West Division matchup between San Francisco and Arizona. The 49ers opened the season with 2 road wins. They now return home to play their home opener. And a lot of gamblers, when they bet the NFL and they take a look at these teams that play a relatively late home opener, they instinctively want to bet on those teams. I think they're going to be excited to finally come home after starting the season with 2 or more road games. But in actuality, these teams don't play well at home when they have a relatively late home opener. Teams that play their first home game at week 3 or later in the season, they've gone just 64-87 ATS. San Francisco is one of 4 teams locked into this negative situation. And also the New York Giants, who we already talked about, is another one of those 4 teams. So I'm going to play against San Francisco. I also like the fact that Arizona has been strong as a single-digit road underdog, going 26-8 ATS their last 34. So I'm going to grab the points in this division rivalry.
Fair enough, man. This is a tough one in my opinion. I think overall, collectively, the Niners are the more talented team, but we know they come into this game severely banged up. You know, they got a backup quarterback, Mac Jones, getting the start. On the other side, you got the Cardinals, who, man, what a start to their season against probably – you couldn't have drew up a better start to their season, like from a scheduling standpoint, the Saints and the Panthers. So, you know, they're 2-0, but – not all 2-0s at this point of the season are created equal. So do we buy into it or or is it time to sell on the road against the Niners? I'm going to agree with you. I like the Cardinals. You know, I'm somebody who has kind of been on the Cardinals hype train the past couple seasons, and they usually break my heart. But and I know it was the Panthers. It was the Saints, the 2 arguably worst teams in the NFL, but I'm not that high on Mac Jones. I'm not. And I think Arizona division battle, they're built to play a team like San Francisco. I think they go in here, keep this game competitive, if not win it outright. So 2 for 2, Hal.
2 for 2.
Fair enough, my man. Fair enough. We got a ton of action coming up this weekend, college football and NFL. I know where to find your favorite plays. Pick Dawgz Premium. What you got going on this weekend?
Yeah, it's a big card, Jay. Off to a terrific 19-9 start in college football. If you're watching this video before the games are played on Saturday, I'll have about 17 Saturday games, maybe one on Friday. So 18 total in college football. I'm looking at 6 or 7 NFL plays over the course of the weekend. So it'll be a big football weekend. We'll have some CFL. We'll have some WNBA as well, maybe some baseball. If you want to get on board, I've done really well over the last 5 years. And if you just look at the last 12 months, the record's 885 and 676 plus 27.8 net games. So if you're betting $1,000 a game, you're up over $127,000. You can team me up with Jay on the 2-for-1 handicapper special or any of the Pick Dawgz champion handicappers. We've got 2-for-1 specials, 3-for-1 specials, 4-for-1 specials. Just go over to Pick Dawgz and get on board for a subscription package.
Al, appreciate you coming on this week. We'll see you throughout the week. We'll see you on the weekend shows here on the NFL show, college football show. We appreciate you, my man.
I appreciate you, Jay. Good luck as always.
Thanks, sir. And we keep it rolling here on the NFL show. And I got one of my favorite guys on the whole wide world. Franchise player, man, Chris Ruffalo. What's happening, my man? How you doing this week?
Doing all right. Yeah. Ready for another week of NFL action. Hard to believe we're already in week 3 after, so much time talking about, preseason and, getting ready for the season. Now, like I said, we're already going to be 3 games in. It's crazy to think it, but it's fine. Wouldn't trade it for anything. So I'm ready to break down this action with you.
I am too. And as I've been saying from a couple other guys that have been on the show already, I've been saying I think this is the best NFL card from a betting perspective thus far. We got film, we got some data. We're starting to see who these teams are. I don't want to overreact too much to a lot of what we've seen, but in that same breath is, I don't think my eyes deceiving me on some of these teams either. So, we get in that cat and mouse game that I really, really love. So let's do it, man. Let's play that game. Let's play the cat and mouse game. Where are we headed to?
Going to a division matchup in the AFC South, and we're going to this match between the Colts and the Titans. And, I've been labeled a Daniel Jones hater, admittedly, and I can't deny what he's done so far. I mean, the Colts have had 16 drives. They've scored 14 points on 14 of those drives, no punts. You know, they have no turnovers through their first 2 games, and that's all well and good. The problem that I have is that you're still going to have a hard time convincing me to trust Daniel Jones. And even if, you know, he does have a strong start and a bit of a career resurgence with the Colts, I'm still thinking that the Tennessee Titans are a better team than what we've seen in the first 2 weeks. I at least think that they're improving. And the main thing for me is that the AFC South was underdog central last year. In division matchups, the underdogs in the AFC South were 11-1 against the spread. It was a division that had a lot of close games. And I think it's going to be one of the more competitive divisions in all the NFL this season. And like I said, I think that Cam Ward's going to steadily show some improvement. I think being at home here is going to help him. And I just like the value here, the 4.5 points, whatever you can get it at. Wouldn't be surprised if this was a field goal game or if the Titans ended up giving themselves a shot to win this game outright. So I'm going to take the Titans here, plus the 4.5.
You're just an Indiana Jones hater. Admit it.
I admit it.
Nah, in all seriousness, though, I have been a Daniel Jones hater over the past, I've been the leader of the Daniel Jones hate club. But coming into this season, I've been president of the fan club. I just thought that he would have a Sam Darnold style season. When I say that, we saw Sam Darnold go to Minnesota last year and look really good, turn his career around. That team was really good. Went on to have the best record in the NFC. I don't know if the Colts are going to be quite that good. I think they can. But I do think this team is going to be really, really good this season. And I think Daniel Jones will have a career resurgence year overall. I think I agree with you, though. I've been on the Colts big the first 2 weeks. They were my play of the week in week 1. Last week, they were my second favorite play. I think I'm going to go the other way this week. I'm kind of leaning towards the Titans. I like a lot of what you said, honestly. I love that division stat for this AFC South. Another thing I want to look at is Daniel Jones has been comfortable at home. He's been guarded in a dome the first 2 weeks. Now out on the road in the elements, division game. I'm with you. I think this Titans team, I don't think the final score, its first 2 games, tell the complete story on this team. I like how they played Denver in week 1. I like how they played the Rams first half last week. Second half, different story. But first half, man, this team was battling. So, getting up and over a field goal, 4.5, that hook on the 4 is beautiful. I'm thinking 24-20, maybe. Even if the Colts win 24-20, we cash. And like you said, it wouldn't shock me if this game was 24-21 coming down to it, Titans had a chance to win it. Points in our pocket here is probably a solid place to be. I'm still on the Indiana Jones fan club, but I just don't think this is the best spot to be laying points either, especially first time we're seeing this Colts team out on the road.
Yeah, Daniel Jones also, since the start of 2023, 3-11 against the spread outside. So, yeah, it's like you said, playing in a dome is going to benefit him, but we'll have to see how it is when he's playing outdoors. Now, granted, it's not like cold weather like you've seen him have to deal with in the past, but yeah, playing in Tennessee, it can be a little bit of a rowdy environment, so we'll have to see how he does here.
Fair enough. I thought Cam Ward had the throw of the weekend last week. That was insane. That's a no-no. Don't do that.
Coaches will not be showing their teams that on, quarterback camps. You will not see that, but
what a throw, man. What a throw. I said last week, I forgot what show it was on last week, but I said all the dumbass plays that Will Levis tried to do, and they just looked dumb, got picked off, turnover. Cam Ward is doing them and actually converting them. It's kind of crazy to watch. It's actually kind of crazy to see it pan out. Will Levis there would have got blown up through a pick, probably would have been a pick 6. So, but we'll see. I don't really love the Titans coach, Callahan. He hasn't impressed me that much yet. And Steichen is growing on me, but I don't know. I really love that division stat you gave here. I really do. 11-1 last year is crazy. What was the one? Do you remember? Do you know?
I don't remember offhand. I remember looking at each one and just being like, oh, wait a minute. There's something here. I don't remember which one it was.
Fair enough. All right, Chris, man, appreciate you coming through, breaking this one down. What you got going on over at Pick Dawgz Premium this weekend?
And for me this weekend, I'm going to have my NFL Platinum play on the board. It's going to be my best bet from the NFL, but we always talk about the long term is the way to go. I'll probably have a multi-pick package on the board for the NFL too, but those long-term passes get you access to every play we make. Major League Baseball's going down the stretch. You can look at for college football week 5 coming ahead. So make sure that you jump on board. You can pair me up with Jay, but whatever you choose to do, use the promo code PICK at checkout. Get 15% off your purchase.
Appreciate you joining, Chris, my favorite Canadian on the planet.
There's a couple people you probably shouldn't let hear that, but that's okay.
Wonder who. Shay's up there. He making me money. Shout out to
Oh, jeez. Better be ahead of SGA.
Hoops on the horizon, man. It'll be back before we know it. I can't wait for it. Can't wait. Football's here right now, man, and that's what we're breaking down. Appreciate you, Chris.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. We keep it rolling here on the NFL show, and I got Brad Wins Bets with me. Brad, what's happening? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Week 3 of NFL, man. It's been a wild ride. It's been crazy so far, and we're just getting started. As a Tampa Bay Bucks fan, I'm happy to start out 2-0. Justin Fields is out this week. We probably go 3-0. So for my fandom sakes, I'm happy, but I'm trying to win some picks most importantly.
Your Bucks should probably be 0-2.
They honestly should. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we got a bit lucky, especially that last one and the first one.
Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all 2-0 club. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. But like you said, here on this show, man, we're trying to get to some bread, man. We're trying to get to some money.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing this week, man? Where are we headed to?
Yeah, we got an ugly one here, guys. We're heading to Cleveland. We got the Packers going into Cleveland to take the Browns. Some might say this is one of the biggest mismatches on today's card. But I'm going to roll with the Cleveland Browns. I think the Browns have to be the play here. Definitely take the 7.5. I love that we're getting a hook there. But look, man, you look at the Packers, big week 1 win against the Lions. Next game, they Thursday night football against the Commanders, pick up another massive win. Well, now they're going into Cleveland. Now they're going into Cleveland for a 1:00 game. This just screams a sleepy spot. They got the Cowboys up on deck. And, when you look at the line here, you see a total of 41.5. This will be a lower scoring game. And you're telling me you want to lay 7.5 points in a lower scoring game? I'm not trying to do that. Flacco is a veteran quarterback who I think they put up some points. They're going to bring the pressure, and he's going to hit his little dink and dunks. And I think the Browns are able to compete in this game. Do they win? Probably not, but I think this is probably, maybe a 14-20 type of game. So I'm gonna take the Browns here. I'm gonna take the points. It's gross, but it needs to be done.
Word for word, bar for bar, to be honest. The Packers are the better football team. We all know that. The Packers, through 2 weeks, look like maybe the best team in football. I hate to say that out loud, but we all at least thought that. They've looked that good. But for all the reasons you said, I think this is a good letdown spot. Kind of a look-ahead spot. Sunday Night Football next week against the boys. My team, man, we all know what that game is going to be and how big that game is going to be, all the narratives running through it and stuff like that. So Packers' first road game as well. They've been at home first 2 weeks. I think this Browns defense probably has a better showing than they had last week. Baltimore obliterated them. But coming back home, solid week of practice. I expect the Browns to have a much better showing here. And like you said, kind of run the football, dink and dunk, play some ball control. You look up, they lost. But it was a 4-6 point. Maybe even we got a full touchdown in our back pocket with this hook. So
yeah,
I ain't mad at it. I like the dog pound here as well.
Yep, let's go dog pound.
Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Fair enough, man. Fair enough, man. This is a cool game to break down. Like you said, it's an ugly one.
It's an ugly one. But sometimes you got to find the ugly ones. That's where the gold's at,
Yes, sir. I also know where to find your gold at, man, and that's over at Pick Dawgz Premium. What you got over there, my man?
Yeah, man. We're definitely gonna have some gold on the slate this weekend, and I'm pumped. So I mean, when you're watching this, you're probably looking for some NFL plays, and I will have those. So expect 3 to 5 plays from me for this NFL slate. Of course, I'll have my pick of the day. That's $25 over at the site. Team me up with Jay, though. Team me up a nice little 3-day, 7-day, and we'll cash you in.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Brad, I appreciate you coming on the show. We'll see you throughout the week here on this show, on the weekend shows, the morning shows, and Brad's breakdown. Check out Brad's breakdown. We'll put a link for that in the description. Brad goes through every single game by himself. So y'all be sure to check that out. Of course, you see Brad a lot. 7 free picks, Nerfies, Yerfies. Brad doing a lot, man. Check him out. Check him out. Check him out. Free and on the premium side.
Yes, sir. Let's cash in some tickets, man.
Let's do it. Appreciate you, Brad. We'll see you next week.
Yep, I'll catch you.
And we keep it rolling here on the NFL show. We got Ashley with us. Ashley, what's happening? How you doing this week?
What's going on, Jay? Feeling good. I love NFL Week 3. Week 1, obviously, still don't really know what to expect out of teams. Week 2, you're trying not to overreact. And then Week 3, you finally feel like you have your footing a little bit and you understand what these teams are about. So I'm stoked. Started off the week, ended the last week strong, went 2-0 on Monday Night Football. We'll see. We're recording this on Thursday, so we'll see how Thursday night goes. But I think we're in for a big weekend.
Yes, I think so too. They've already heard me say that a couple of times already.
Oh, yeah.
How I really like this week 3. I think it's the best betting card thus far. So, we got data, we got film. It's starting to, like I think I said with Chris, we're starting to play the cat and mouse game. So.
Exactly. Yeah. We have a little bit more to work with rather than just assumptions and going based off of last year.
Exactly. Let's do it. Let's do it. Where are we headed to first?
Heading over to Philly first, Rams and Eagles. Had to throw it back to the Eagles after my hit cashed in last week with Eagles and Chiefs. I know you were big on the Chiefs in that one, but
shout out to the Birds, man.
They really proved a point there in that game, and they needed to. I think after the Super Bowl, they really wanted to come out and make a statement that they could win again on the road at Arrowhead, and that's exactly what they did. And frankly, I don't think we've seen this Eagles team at their best yet. They won Week 1, tough divisional matchup game. Big game Week 2, obviously Super Bowl rematch on the road. But I don't think they've been firing on all cylinders yet. They've been doing enough to get it done. And this should be an interesting matchup too. A lot of people are talking about how it's a revenge spot for the Rams. And I understand that the Rams played them tough there in that playoff game last year. But Eagles smoked them in the regular season. And frankly, I think I'm just going to need to see more from LA this year before I really buy into what some people are saying is a very, very good team. Their defense is solid, don't get me wrong, but I'm not super impressed with their wins so far. I mean, they beat the Titans. Okay, Texans can't function offensively right now. So I think this will be LA's biggest challenge so far on both sides of the ball. And something that I have not heard a lot of people talk about yet is, they've referenced the playoff game from last year, but Saquon has yet to explode this season, and he exploded twice against the Rams last year. He went for, I think in the regular season game, he went for 250 yards plus another 50 receiving for 2 touchdowns. And then in that playoff game, he posted over 200 again with another 2 touchdowns. So I think this could be the game where Saquon goes off this season. And I think I just gotta lay the points on this one. The Rams are a good team, but this Eagles team is really tough. And again, I don't think we've seen the best of them so far this season. So I'll take Philly at home. I know we have 3.5 on the graphic here. I think you can shop around and still get it at 3. I don't love the hook, but if you can get it at 3, definitely cash that in. But I'll roll with 3.5 too.
Ashley, taking the Birds. I don't want to say too many kind words about the Birds, so I won't.
Yeah, understandable.
But shout out to them, though. They played well last week. When they needed to make the timely plays, they did it. And going into Arrowhead and getting a dub is never easy. This offense has had major hiccups. I haven't liked what I've seen overall from Jalen Hurts throwing the football. This is a guy that I don't think he has a passing touchdown yet. I don't think he has one.
I don't think so either.
Saquon, I don't think he's had 100 rushing yards yet. So I hear you. They're 2-0 and have yet to play their best game. And I hear you when you say the Rams, level of competition is questioned. Texans, they haven't looked impressive through 2 weeks. And the Titans, arguably one of the worst teams in the league. Shout out to the Titans. I thought they played the Rams really tough in the first half, but shout out to the Rams for closing that door the way they did in the second half. This is an interesting one. It's probably one I'm not in love with by any stretch of the imagination. I would probably lean Rams. Most of it would probably be buried in Eagles hate, just honestly.
That's fair. You could make the argument, obviously Stafford was banged up heading into the season, so you could make the argument that maybe they haven't been 100%, or he wasn't 100% the first couple of weeks. But if this game were in LA, it'd be a different story. But Eagles coming back home, those two impressive wins, I think it won't be an easy win, that's for sure. But I think they'll take it by a field goal easily.
Fair enough. Shout out to the Birds, man, the defending champs. That's nasty to say out loud. Where are we headed to next, Ashley? Where are we headed to next?
We're throwing it over to Santa Clara. I talked Niners and Cardinals for this one. So if people heard me talk last week on the college football show about my ASU bias, I have to put out my Cardinals bias too. But my bias for Arizona goes the other way. I actually think we're going to lose every game. So I have to check my negativity at the door sometimes when it comes to the Cardinals. But I do like them in this spot though, for a few reasons. It's a divisional dog. I don't always buy into the divisional dog play, but I do in this spot, especially with, there's a lot of question marks about Purdy in this one. Whether he plays or not, I'm still big on Arizona in this week. There's a lot of talk about Purdy's toe. His shoulder is also banged up. So he has a couple ailments that have been causing him some issues. And if we look back at last year, Arizona smoked the Niners in their last game in Arizona. They won outright, or I'm sorry, they won in Arizona, in Glendale, but then we won outright on the road as 7.5-point underdogs last season. And this Cardinals team this year is definitively better than last season. Our offense is the same core. Not too much has changed there, but defensively, we're definitely a better team. We've been really solid against the rush so far. So as long as we can contain McCaffrey, it's going to force Brock and or Mac to throw the ball, which isn't a bad thing. In Mac's 7 games last year, he threw 8 picks. Even if Purdy's playing, he threw 2 picks in week 1. So he's not, in mid-season form quite yet. And I think this Cardinals defense can put the pressure on, cause some turnovers. And I think that could definitely be the difference here in this game. I will admit it is concerning that Arizona has only faced the Saints and the Panthers so far. So I think we are debatably the worst 2-0 team right now. In fact, it's probably not debatable. I'll be honest about that. But I think with it being a divisional game, we're going to level up, and we can take the Niners here for sure. Because let's not forget, the Niners also played the Saints last week. Didn't perform too great either. They pulled out the win, but they didn't look great overall. So I'm going to take the points here with Arizona.
Ashley, I'm the Cardinals, Kyler Murray and company. I like the Cardinals in this one too. I am a huge Kyler Murray fan. I live in Dallas. He's from the Dallas area. He's the greatest high school. To me, he's the greatest Texas high school football player. And I know a lot of people be like, for real? Yes. 43-0 in high school. It's at the 6A level. He didn't lose a football game. He didn't
lose a football game for quite a ways into his college career too, if I'm mistaken.
So, I'm a huge Kyler Murray fan, and I've been on this Cardinals hype train the last couple seasons. It hasn't panned out. They've broken my heart. They've shown flashes where it's like, I like what we got going on. And then other signs, they turn back into the Cardinals. So I definitely hear you. I've been kind of riding the ups and downs as a Cardinals better the past couple seasons.
Yeah, I've been fairly pessimistic about them for many years now. I try not to buy into the hype because, as you just said, that's all it ends up being is just hype. I think we could be decent this year. We might be able to sneak into playoffs, but I don't have any high expectations.
I don't have high expectations either, but I am drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit. I think playoffs is a realistic expectation. I think they should or could win this division. Especially with the way the Niners are banged up right now. Like if they don't get the Niners here with Mac Jones, I'm a huge Mac Jones hater.
The division's not as tough as it used to be. You know, a couple of years ago, you know, Niners were super solid. Seahawks were really tough. Rams, obviously, super good. So the division's not nearly what it was over the last few years. So the door's opened a little bit.
Correct. Banged up Niners. I still have questions about Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. Rams are probably the front runner right now, but I like the Cardinals as my dark horse, man. I do. So I'm gonna keep rolling with them here, and I think they pull out a huge win. You're right. Their first two games, Panthers, Saints, it doesn't get any better than that. But
yeah, nope. Bottom two teams out the way. It only gets harder.
It don't get any better than that. But following it up with Mac Jones, hey, that's another little, in my opinion, that's another gift. So we'll see if they take care of business on the Cardinals with you. All right, man. Just broke down two games from the NFL. I think, again, really solid card from the NFL that's coming up weekend, college as well. What you got going on over at Pick Dawgz Premium?
Yeah, so I'll always have my best bet of the day going on, whether it's baseball midweek or NFL and college football on the weekend. I also have longer term packages available, this is now a great time to snag, you know, a month package. We have baseball playoffs here less than 2 weeks. So in a matter of 10 or so days, we're going to have MLB postseason, college football, and NFL in full swing. So now's the time to hop on board, grab a long-term package, use the code PICK for 15% off, and get the most bang for your buck for sure.
Ashley, we appreciate you joining us here on the show. We'll see you throughout the week on Ashley's Edge, returning here soon. And
I think that might be breaking news. I think that's breaking news. Ashley's Edge is coming back.
There you go. Breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
So be on the lookout for that. And of course, here we'll see you on the NFL and college football shows throughout the year.
Yep. Sounds good. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.